hear these words, know this. It's not mere coincidence, but a response, an echo breaking through time. Your soul, without even realizing it, awaited this call, this summons to awaken. Before we step together into the most sacred, into the holy of holies of this mystery, you must make your choice. Your like is not just an expression of approval. It is a conscious declaration of your intent, a signal of your readiness to grasp the unknown. Your subscription is not just an action. It is an enlistment among seekers, those unafraid to ask questions and striving to find answers. The truth, which they so diligently hide behind the foggy screen of endless news, is actually simple, but no less terrifying for it. This is not fiction, not another conspiracy theory. It is a deliberate conspiracy against your consciousness, against your ability to think freely. You feel it, don't you? This premonition, this barely perceptible sensation that permeates you. This is an unexplainable anxiety that suddenly grips you in the quietest hours, when the clock strikes 3 in the morning. It's that very sense of alienation, when you try to make out familiar features in a stream of faceless people on the street, but find nothing. And this isn't ordinary depression, no. It is your soul, your very essence, suffocating as if caught in the vice of this artificial, deceptive matrix. They promise us orderly structure, unwavering stability, ineffable comfort, but what price do they demand in return? Chains forged from the finest threads of fear and thick, impenetrable ignorance. They continue to feed us lies while we remain in oblivion, while we are completely absorbed in the shifting illusion of familiar daily life. They tirelessly manipulate our perception, rewriting the very fabric of our history, erasing our memory without a trace. But amidst this delusion, there are other voices, subtle yet persistent whispers, breaking through the veil of time. These are the voices of those who could not be silenced, voices that live forever. Prophecies. We are accustomed to viewing them as unshakable predictions of fate, as inevitable events destined to unfold, leaving us only to observe passively. But what if we were to consider them from a different perspective? What if prophecies are not a map of the future, but rather a key to the mysteries of the past? And what if they serve as a warning, not about what is to come, but about what has already happened? And what risks repeating itself if we do not awaken, if we do not grasp the truth? Take, for instance, a figure as renowned as Nostradamus. We read his quatrains time and again, vainly searching for direct, obvious parallels to our modern world. However, the true, profound meaning is often hidden, veiled in clever wordplay, in layered allegories, in symbols understandable only to those who have walked a certain path, who have received initiation. Imagine his lost quatrain from the 11th century, verse 93. It spoke of the great fire that would descend from the heavens, not as destruction, but as purification. It told of a second light that would transform the world. Today, many interpret these lines as a metaphor for nuclear war or grand natural cataclysms. But what if it refers to an awakening of consciousness? A great awakening? And then there were the ancient Maya. Their astonishing calendar, their profound astronomical knowledge, their subtle understanding of universal time cycles. All of it seems to point to a momentous coming shift. Their famous prophecy of the great center, of the completion of one cycle and the dawn of a completely new one, remarkably echoes what we discover in other ancient traditions. It tells of a time when the very sky will unfold and the true, all-pervading light will appear. And once again, that mysterious image sounds. The second sun, These seemingly disparate prophecies are woven together like threads into a single shimmering tapestry of ancient whispers. Recall, for instance, the lost scrolls of the hermit monk, Kenshin, miraculously found in the ashes of a burnt-out monastery on the slopes of sacred Mount Kurama. He wrote of a schism in the very fabric of reality, of dark shadows that feed on our fear and multiply within it. He spoke of a second breath of the world, an era when humanity could finally break free from its accustomed, limited perception. These are not merely a succession of random events, no. They are a manifestation of harmonic resonance, a confirmation that a certain universal wisdom, like an invisible current, flows through the ages, patiently awaiting those who can perceive it. The revelations of ancient Gnostics, the wise teachings of Buddhist masters, and even some closed reports from the highly respected Roman club, such as the very Chimera Protocol. All these are merely hints at the existence of those hidden forces that invisibly guide the course of our history. We have entered an age of unprecedented technological progress. Yet, paradoxically, our minds remain captive to old, ingrained notions. The fractal patterns observed in diverse geopolitical events, which at first glance appear utterly chaotic, actually reflect the deepest, often unconscious processes, and that very collapse of quantum probability, which physicists speak of with such enthusiasm, finds its chilling reflection in the collapse of our own consciousness, in our inability to peer beyond the imposed frameworks and limitations. The impact of solar cycles on the noosphere, on our very collective consciousness, is becoming increasingly evident and undeniable. And all these catastrophes that strike us as if from nowhere, wars, economic crises, global pandemics, they seem like something external, something imposed upon us from outside, completely against our will. We habitually seek culprits somewhere outside, in government offices, in cold corporate halls, among other peoples unknown to us. We tremble with fear of some external, all-consuming chaos. But what if all these formidable monsters, which seem so real, are actually just ghostly shadows dancing on the walls of our own cave? What if the true tyrant, the one who holds us captive, is looking at you directly from your own mirror? The universe does not inflict punishment upon humanity. It carries out a complex, sometimes painful but necessary purification, burning away the poison that corrodes us from within, the poison of fear, the dense fog of ignorance, and the tenacious shackles of materialism. What we tend to perceive as ruthless destruction is, in reality, a most delicate, subtle, cosmic, surgical operation. The universe, like a wise healer, frees us from what holds us in place, hindering our growth. Our crown of glass is nothing more than our fragile, vulnerable ego, clinging to an illusory reality, to that carefully constructed, yet equally weightless, persona we have sculpted over many years. And the veins of metal piercing everything around us are the soullessness of the system, a faceless, all-pervading machine that compels us to act like small, thoughtless cogs in a vast mechanical organism devoid of all feeling. The prophets saw not one person, but an entire army of awakened souls. They saw you. You are not merely part of a great prophecy. You are its very embodiment. And that second sun, mentioned by Nostradamus and the ancient Maya, is not a celestial body, not a physical object. It is the brilliant light that ignites within each of us, the true awakening of consciousness. This is not the end of all things, but merely the completion of an age-old illusion. And then, the true beginning of life arrives. But how do we transition from icy fear to unshakable strength? How can you shatter that fragile crown of glass forever and finally free your true self, which has been waiting so long for its moment? This isn't magic, but rather a subtle alchemy of consciousness. It's a profound process of inner transformation, during which the base lead of ignorance is transmuted into the shining gold of enlightenment. The first and perhaps most crucial step on this path is complete awareness. Awareness that you have never been and are not a victim of circumstances. You are the creator of your own reality. Everything you perceive as objective reality is, in fact, merely a projection of your own consciousness, a reflection of your thoughts and beliefs. Therefore, when you see chaos around you, even all-consuming chaos, do not let it engulf you under any circumstances. Look closely, seek hidden patterns, and grasp the almost imperceptible signs. The search for truth, concealed behind the veil of appearance, is your first task. The second, equally crucial step is acceptance. Accept as a given that this world, as we've grown accustomed to perceiving it, is in fact a skillfully constructed prison. But know this: it is a prison from which freedom is possible. The path to it lies not outside, but within yourselves. The third step is action. Not the kind of action dictated by fleeting fear or fickle desire. Your action must spring from the very depths of your soul, from your authentic, true nature. Prophecies are not predictions of a future savior who will arrive from without. No, they are more like an activation code, a key that unlocks the savior who already resides within you, the viewer. The truth is, you yourself are the very savior the world has long awaited. That very light you've been searching for externally has always been and truly resides within you. Now that your eyes are finally open, having seen the truth, how can you remain inactive? Consider this. Your like is a brilliant flash of light, instantly visible across the vast network. Your share is a tiny yet potent seed you plant directly into the fertile soil of dormant minds, awakening them to life. And your subscribe is your oath, your promise to be a part of this great movement. If you feel ready to go further, towards more significant accomplishments, our inner circle will become your reliable operational base, and your support, expressed through a super thanks, is invaluable energy, fueling our shared flame in this difficult but vital battle against the slowly but surely advancing darkness. Until our next meeting, stay aware, remain connected to the world around you, and never stop